Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios as per usual. And tonight, we got a special guest in the house. My main man, James Munch Hairston in the house. What up, Munch?
What's going on?
How you feeling, brother?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad you got a chance to join me, man. It's playoff time, right? So it was quite appropriate to have a legend in the house to talk about your legendary career in basketball. And you also just got inducted to the Fayette County Hall of Fame.
Yep.
That's
All
fire,
that,
bro.
yeah. Basketball's in, and I did get inducted. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Yep.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's funny you said to me like you didn't even realize that you were making history at the time.
No.
And that's the funny thing about history. When you're living in it, you don't even realize what's going on. It's not until after the fact you can really reflect and see like, damn, like something special happened here.
Yeah, it's cool. And you know me personally.
Yeah.
Is also cool. So to get to talk about it a little bit and reflect.
Yeah.
Is a little cool. So
Yeah. No, I was there for a lot of the journey. So
just about everything.
Yeah.
You know, and you seen everything. So.
yeah,
It is really.
it's fitting, right?
Yes, yeah,
It's real
definitely.
fitting. No, I agree, bro. No, and I like to kick off my podcast just like you're saying. I'm saying how I was introduced to the artist or creative or the athlete that I have on. And for you, I mean, I can't even remember. That's how long I've known you. I can't even remember how we met. I'm sure it was through Bay somehow, some way out in Trotter.
Of course, yeah.
Playing ball. We was playing ball back then in Trotter on a little hoop.
On the hoops, yeah, for sure. We was we met definitely young, elementary.
Yeah.
And let's just say that elementary.
Yeah, elementary school years for sure.
And from there
Yeah.
till now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we was in the same grade, same age, and all that. So we got
All
to,
that.
I mean, we came up together, played
Yeah.
booster league football and all that. And you was nasty at football too.
yeah. We was a little rival a little bit. Booster years. I did play football. People wouldn't actually know that, but
You
yes.
played every position too.
Actually, I did. I even snapped the ball.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
So that's a little funny, but
Yeah.
snapper too. So.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because that's how, like, people don't understand. Like, if you're like a good athlete, you're probably just good at most sports. Because hand-eye coordination, it takes the same thing. Like, knowing how to control your body, all that goes into sports. So it usually translates from one sport to the other.
Right.
And most people that you hear about that are star athletes usually were multi-sport star athletes, or at
Correct.
least
Correct.
at least rather decent. They were better than the average person at other sports.
Oh, for sure.
Now, for you, playing sports like when you were younger and coming up, did you already know that you were more gifted than other people?
I mean,
Like, what age did you realize that, damn, I'm better than most of these kids my age?
kind of during elementary years, booster.
Yeah.
Not knowing that I was better than anybody, but just understanding that I was pretty decent at the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just knowing that, and I wasn't ever like big headed or anything, even
Right.
when I was young.
Yeah, I know that for
so-
sure.
But
I know that for sure.
it was cool. It was cool to do that football thing a little bit too. So I was definitely not a triathlete, but I did everything.
A multi-sport athlete.
Multi-sport for sure.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's the thing about it. Like you said, around elementary school years, you can see like it's a little bit different when I do it than
Yeah.
these other
I
kids
mean,
do.
I was a little taller than people and a little faster than everybody. So
Right.
and Connellsville wasn't too too many people that was athletic-ish.
Right, right. Yeah,
So
there was a
growing
few.
up in my age, so
There was a few athletes, and those guys were standouts in that. But it wasn't like it was a hotbed for athletics. It
yeah,
wasn't like it
correct,
was a whole
correct.
bunch of people coming out. Well, I can't even say that though, because we certainly have had a lot of great athletes come out
Oh
and
yeah,
go
for
play
sure, for
D1
sure.
sports and stuff like that. So we definitely had some, but it's usually one in a generation every once in a while. What up, Nep? It's usually one in a generation, and you was one of those generational talents. Now you said in elementary school you started to see the difference. When was it did you see or notice that like coaches were starting to take a liking to you, or coaches started to treat you different? Did that happen more in elementary or like junior high? When did that start
Yeah,
taking
I
place?
mean, actually, I mean, football stopped before junior high. Like
Right.
elementary was the last, like the Mohicans of the football.
Yeah.
So,
But like in basketball, when was it that you realized like coaches started coming to you like, yeah, we got something with you here.
oh
Like this is
yeah,
real.
that was, I mean,
Almost
seventh
immediately.
grade. Yeah,
Yeah.
seventh grade. Because seventh grade I started dunking.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, automatically in that I was like kind of like the guy that stood out a little bit, and the coaches was kind of like talking and kind of like saying who that is and asking all that stuff. So, but I always played up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
seventh, I played eighth, ninth. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
Ninth
then
high
ninth,
school.
you were varsity athlete at that point.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get into
Yeah,
that
we're
too.
definitely gonna get into that because that was a good time. So you said around junior high you started to notice the difference. The coaches started noticing the difference,
Yep, yep.
and at this time it wasn't like it is now, which is unfortunate, right? Because a lot of
Oh
these kids
man,
have like
oh man.
AAU ball readily available. They,
Yeah.
most kids if they play a sport, they play that one sport and they play it all year round. As we were coming up, sports weren't available like that. You couldn't just play your one specific sport all year round.
Right, right.
You had some areas that had that, but it was like summer league ball. But it wasn't to the level that it is now, where you're going out of state, traveling, playing these like not to say AAU ball didn't exist, but not like it does for the youth now. It was more like high school, and it was just a select few guys in AAU. But you
Correct.
did play AAU in high school, so we'll get to that
Yeah.
as well. But like now you see the junior, like we see Amazing, you know what I mean, and we see him doing all the
Shout
stuff
out.
that he's doing. Yeah, shout out Amazing,
Young
man.
boy, young boy.
But we see him now, and he's able to travel and go to these different places. Like that would have been excellent. And the other advantage that kids have that we didn't have back then is the access to the internet and
Oh man.
media, social media, and the cameras everywhere.
Yeah. That's another a big thing too that they have advantage on, and
Yeah,
the exposure they get now and stuff like that. So
early on,
yeah,
very
yeah.
early
So
on.
that's good for them too. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I mean, if I had as much as that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and vice versa with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure if a lot of people had that stuff, that
Yeah.
opportunity, you know what I mean, they'd be able to do a lot more.
Be a
and
little bit further,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But it's super cool how they got a lot of the how it is now, how it
The accessibility that they
Yeah.
have to social media and TV
Yeah.
and all that stuff, 100%.
correct.
But even without all of that, and being from a small town, you were able to be a standout athlete, and it was able to help you go different places and still get that exposure. Now, when did you start doing like out of school leagues? Was that happening in junior high, or did that stuff happen more in like high school? When I say out of school, like rec leagues, like when did you start doing like AAU ball? Did that stuff come later on?
Yeah, later on. But I started to get it more. It started to become more of it when I got to high school.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like my freshman summer, it was like that. It was like then, and then I was
You
in
started
high
getting
school.
exposed to
Yeah,
more
so
of
I
that.
was already in high school,
Right.
playing wise. You know
Right.
what I mean? So yeah, by then the AAU started getting right there with
Yeah.
it and stuff.
So now you're going into that summer. You're going into that summer of your freshman year. You're fresh off of junior high ball. What was the transition like from high school to junior high, or I'm sorry, my apologies, the other way around, from junior high to high school?
I
Like,
mean,
cause you were still a standout. Like, did you feel any difference in it?
no, but I didn't. Also, I didn't know that I was going to be like starting either. You know what I mean?
You didn't have any idea you'd be a
I
starter.
mean, I kind of.
You felt like you should.
Like actually, like some stuff behind the scenes happened in high school. Some
Yeah,
stuff behind the scenes that we can talk about.
yeah, yeah,
Later
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But happened. So I ended up being the starting point guard my freshman year
Hmm.
because of it. Not because of it, but because that happened. Something happened.
It
I,
kind of led into you
it
being
kind
a
of led
starter.
into me being coming down there and playing as a freshman. So
Yeah,
yeah. So it as a freshman playing, it was cool. The difference was faster,
faster.
just
Yeah,
like all the
any
next
level,
levels.
any next level. Yeah,
Yep, it's faster.
yeah,
But I was still, I was still being me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I was still wild
yeah.
a little bit. I wasn't ready really. I was still like a street basketball guy.
You didn't have the technical aspect
Nope,
of it per se.
nope, not at
Yeah,
all.
you were just relying on your pure ability, your talents,
Yep, yep,
without the technical aspect.
yep.
Yeah,
Sure did.
yeah. So you're going into that freshman year. You come out as a starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing high school ball, and people have to realize you're going to a school like Connellsville. The school that we go to is not known for basketball, right? It's
Correct.
not a basketball school traditionally. It's more of a football wrestling school.
Football, wrestling.
That's what most people in the state know it as. The state of Pennsylvania. If you know about Connellsville, it's probably from wrestling. More than likely, if not wrestling, the heydays of when the football team was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got there and when you started, it started to be more. Well, at least during those 4 years, it certainly became more of a basketball school, right?
Yep, it did.
Could you see the difference from like your freshman year crowds? I mean, which I know the answer to this, but for could you see the difference like your freshman year of crowds to your senior year of crowds?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could, but I mean, it was still nice because uh, the people that was playing still, because a big name in Connellsville area, Marcus Furman,
yeah,
uh, a Pitt um, football.
Pitt football player. Yeah,
So he was on the team still. So
yeah.
we had guys like that
You got to play with them.
that I got to play with. So
Yeah,
and people, our age people
yeah,
that would know, that name. So
yeah. 100%.
yeah. So
He's one of the greatest high school football players to come out of Southwest Pennsylvania.
I I wouldn't I
Yeah,
wouldn't
as far
doubt
as
it.
as far as running backs, I mean, I'm sure the statistics will prove that it's just that as far as yards and all that stuff go, he did it. So yeah, you're talking about, and that's what I was saying. As far as athletes go, we do have some of those generational guys, and he
Oh
was
yeah, we
certainly
do.
one
We
of
do.
those generational talents. Like you said, he went on to go to Pitt to play running back, wide receiver, as well as kick returner
Correct.
for a really good Pitt team that had like Rod Rutherford. And some other standouts that people
Oh
know very
man,
well.
yeah, yeah. I think Rod Rutherford, he came to one of the playoff games of ours
Yeah.
one year. I think he popped up on one of them playoff games.
Now,
Yeah.
in your career, who was some of the guys that you remember playing against that were notable?
Mm.
I could think of one off rip, Darrell Revis from Quippa.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that was my AAU guy.
Hmm.
He like still to this day is like one of my best friends. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah, like um, I that's who he was. Quip was a triple A double,
Yeah.
maybe double A.
Double A school. Yeah. Double A school.
Yeah, we didn't get to play him in basketball,
Right. Not during regular season.
not during regular season
Yeah.
and stuff. So, but yeah, definitely for sure. Because I did play against him and with him
Yeah.
at AAU. So yes, he is one. Man, I mean,
And he came down for the All-Star game senior year.
yep.
Yeah.
People don't know that was him either.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
was he was there, and I have to tell people sometimes that
Yeah, I recall that
Revis
very
was.
well. He was in a dunk contest
Yep.
that you
And
end up winning.
did I end up winning?
Yeah.
Which uh, he was supposed to be in the finals with me,
Yeah.
but he ended up, Keith Benjamin,
Yeah.
to pay for Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he ended up being the guy that I went against. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So you definitely played against some. Akita McLean was another one that was.
Akita, another one of my good friends.
Yeah.
Boston College guy.
Yep.
They ended up winning states his senior year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super nice. Got one of my another AAU teammates.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to play against him. Battles in the playoffs all the time.
Yeah, I remember that for sure. Penn Hills. Yeah.
Penn Hills, we always battled him. I got pictures and stuff of me and him all everywhere and stuff. So.
What about even the AAU ball? You played with some pretty good players there. Some other notable players.
Oh yeah, AAU was like I ran into a lot of people.
Some NBA legends.
Oh yeah, Cal,
Corver.
No, not Corver. Who? Not Rudy Gay. We got.
Yeah, Rudy Gay. I remember that.
We went against Rudy Gay. Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Actually, a good friend of mine.
Kyle Lowry's fire.
Yeah.
Won a championship up there in Toronto.
Yep. We got to play against Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
When he's at Arkansas. But I mean,
of course, there's a plethora of players you can go through.
That I can go through that I can just that I name. So shout out to everybody though that that was nice that I played against. They know who they are.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Now, did that AAU experience, did that build your confidence when you got into regular season coming back home? And
Oh
playing?
yeah, that was what I think that's what helped me be who I was in Connellsville.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you done went against the best players in the country.
All summer was like going against, so stuff like that. So
yeah.
But we a lot of times the summers was good because of a lot of the good competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it was just running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just running.
Yeah.
So it was all right. Definitely cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I can see how that would build your confidence. Like you're coming back, you done played against one of the number one players in the country. Mm-hmm. You're coming back home and you're playing these guys who, aren't doing what you're doing at that level. So I could just see how something like that would build your confidence coming in.
Yeah.
So we talked about the freshman year, how you got an opportunity to start freshman year. Now you start seeing, like I said, we're not known as a basketball school, but you can see the crowd start getting bigger.
Right.
Going into like the sophomore year, junior year, and the team's becoming more successful, right? As you're starting to grow and blossom, and starting to get some of those things
winning.
Starting to get some of those things you said you didn't have at first. Before you said you were relying on your talent a little bit more, as opposed to the technical stuff. Now, what was a big part of getting that technical aspect of it? What was the and you had a coaching change as well, right? Because you didn't have the same coach.
Yeah, and that was a big that
your
was
freshman year going as you did. When did Bosnick join the program?
I think my sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
Yeah. So and that was the big turning point for my career.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
how so?
Well, shout out, my coach Nick Bosnick.
Yeah, for sure.
He played at Maryland.
Yeah.
And then he transferred to Duquesne and graduated from there. But coming from Lower Highlands, coming from Laurel Highlands, which is, Connellsville
Rivals,
rivalry-ish.
yeah.
So, and then him playing for Maryland, you know what I mean? Maryland. So, and him playing against a lot of people.
Elite players.
I mean, you can name it. He played against,
Right.
and which is cool. So, and for him to coach me,
Yeah.
to get to coach me,
How do you feel like you had a better, and he was younger than a coach that was
yes,
previously
he
there,
was.
right?
He was still young.
Yeah. So do you feel like you had a better rapport and you could relate to him better than the coach
Oh,
that
for
was there prior?
Oh, for sure.
I know, I know you two were very close, but
Still
still close. Yeah.
calling right now.
Yeah.
So
What kind of impact, because that's important, right? Because if you're a coach out there watching, I mean, shout out to all the coaches that are out there working with kids and stuff. Like, how big of an impact did that have on you going from that change and having them there? Did it help with some of that technical skill? Were you able to relate? And he was a baller too. He can hoop, so you had someone who you can really compete with day in and day out, because he was an active coach, right?
yep. So I mean, it was on and off the court. He was like, there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was number one that I realized, like, dang, he's not just my coach. Like, that this dude cares
He cares about
what's
me.
going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was number one for me. Like, and me not having much coming up. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't, we didn't have too much. So,
Right.
he was just like, whatever you need, just let me know.
Yeah.
So
Let me know so I can be there for you.
yeah. So that was a big part, and him being the coach, just I mean, he held me accountable,
Right.
which made me better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people wouldn't think that man yelled at me,
Yeah.
or I got in trouble when I was playing high school
Yeah.
and stuff. Man, he would sit me down and, oh man,
He held you, like you said, held you
oh
accountable.
man,
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. So, and that was, and I had to respect that because I knew he knew what he was talking about.
Right.
And I knew I was being lazy at times,
Right.
and he would call it out, make sure he knew. Like, we would go back and forth, but it was all like,
It was in a good space.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But but it was cool looking at it now, how we're older, and we talk, and how we're like, man, yeah, we go at it, yeah. But
It
that
was all out of a place of love, though. He wasn't. He wanted to he wanted to get the best out of you. He wanted to
for
see
sure.
the best from you. Yeah.
yeah, he wanted to see me win. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And like I said, I think that's important to note because coaches make such a difference in the people that they're coaching's lives, and it's such a thankless job at times, right? A lot of parents they get upset with coaches because their kid might not be performing the way that the coach believes they should, but it could be such a thankless job, but they're making such a big difference.
Right.
And they don't get paid a lot to coach. You know what I mean? It's
No.
not like these coaching jobs it's at these lower levels anyway. Obviously, you get in the collegiate levels for bigger schools and NBA and stuff like that.
Right.
Those guys are being compensated well. But at the high school level, the junior high level, AAU ball, these guys aren't getting paid a lot of money to do this stuff.
Right.
Some of them don't get paid. You know what I mean? Some of these coaches don't get paid.
But I mean, too, some of these coaches, coach just to coach.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got a sprinkle of them guys in there too.
Sure, yeah.
So, but yeah, a coach is supposed to understand
Yeah.
on and off the court stuff. Not necessarily have to help you out or whatever, but just caring
Understanding who
about
the
your
player
kids.
is, yeah.
Like what's going on. You know what I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day. So yeah.
So sophomore year, Bosnick comes in. He's the coach. Could you feel the immediate change in the atmosphere and the culture of Connellsville basketball when he got there?
Yeah, it was just more of up tempo,
Yeah.
more just running and letting us a little looser.
Yeah. Did you like that?
Yeah. It was just more of a let me do my thing type of, not too much, but go ahead and, you know what I'm saying?
Play ball.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and he like we were saying, he's young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he he knows what's up.
Right.
Like he knows the game now. Right. He knew the game, like what's going on with it too. So
right, he could play the current way that players are playing.
The current way right now.
And he can get you ready for the next level.
Exactly.
Because he's been there and he's done that.
Been there and done that.
Right.
Yep.
So sophomore year, what was that year like? Do you remember the record sophomore year?
We wasn't too no, we was decent.
It was, yeah.
We was decent, but we didn't go too far or anything like right. that. We did decent in the regular season, and you know what I'm saying. We might have just missed the playoffs.
Okay, missed the playoffs. All right.
Yeah, I think
fair.
my sophomore year, I think we probably missed the playoffs.
So so you go from sophomore year, barely missed the playoffs. What happens that next year? Tell me about junior year.
Junior year was turned. It was probably
It was different.
Mm-hmm. It was probably the best year I've, you know what I mean. That was my senior year, but
I'm about to say I don't know. So yeah.
Senior year was
different. Yeah.
But no, junior year was it was cool. It was, you know what I mean. It was the all right now.
Now we here.
Now we, you know what I'm saying, we got a little more room.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and, you know what I mean. But too, even I didn't understand. I was going up in the points. Like I didn't understand, cause now check it. My sophomore year, I hit 1,000. So
right.
You know what I mean?
That's fast too.
Yeah. So
some kids hit 1,000 for the career and they're happy.
Yeah. Or they'll hit it their junior year.
Yeah.
So I hit 1,000 my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I ended up doing that. So, but I didn't know.
You didn't understand how big it was.
Yeah. I was just balling.
Yeah.
And
you just thought this was regular. Like
I'm
just doing regular stuff. Yeah.
And then ended up you know what I mean? Like kept growing in the numbers. Right. You know what I'm saying? My junior year.
And the crazy part about your game is you're not even a aggressive scorer. You're more of you were a point guard. You were a facilitator.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because people don't know that either. Cause, you know, like they see me just scoring. Yeah,
they think you're a gunner.
Yeah, or that, you know what I'm saying? But they really don't know. Like, I'd rather get everybody involved.
Just the rock.
Man. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? And then I'll come in, you know.
And I think that's part of what made, because not to take anything away from any of the players that you played with, but it's not like you played with guys who were D1 talent, or I don't know how many guys that you played with that actually went to the next level to play ball.
No, you're right.
So not anything against those guys. I mean, they were playing ball and doing what they were doing. And I say that to say this, that goes to show that you're a facilitator because you made those guys around you better. And that's why you guys were able to win that team, because you weren't doing it alone. You made those guys better. You helped build their confidence. Mm-hmm. And we had some good teams, right?
That's what I was about to say. Our team was not bad at all. Like, they played their roles. You know what I'm saying? They made their layups. Right. They played defense, got back. Yeah. You know what I mean? They played, you know what I mean? They wasn't great at it. Right. But you know what I mean?
They were good enough.
Good enough. And I think every team that's pretty decent has that extra star guy that can just turn it up a little bit for that team. Right. And you know what I mean? I was that.
You were that for the team.
Yeah, I was that kind of like.
And whenever things start slowing down and people aren't hitting, then now they know you could turn it on for them. Yep. You could turn it on at any point in time. Those guys have to wait to get there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what separated for sure. So junior year, you make it. Did you guys go to the playoffs that year? I want to say yeah.
Yeah. I think we ended up going to the second round maybe. Yeah. But it was like real good, like 2 good playoff games. Yeah. But my junior year, yeah. But
you seen the progress of the team went further than the year before.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So things are heading in the right direction.
Oh, for sure. And mind you, though, now that my that summer,
your junior going into your senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going up back to AAU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, where we're traveling. Ohio.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
So
And there was a college, or there was a high school kid in Ohio making a lot of noise at that time.
yeah, there was a kid that people
May have heard
may
of.
have heard of
Yeah,
that. Now when you know when we was going up there, it was the buzz. It was, you know what I mean?
yeah. You
Like,
hearing about LeBron?
oh,
Everybody's talking about LeBron.
everybody. I mean, it was like, and I was, you know, we would travel up there like 4 weekends
Yeah,
because that's uh, Ohio was the mecca of AAU
ball
tournaments.
in this area for
Yep,
sure. Yeah,
because of him.
right.
So everybody wanted to go to Ohio. Everybody had tournaments in Ohio. You know what I
Right.
mean? So they was playing against LeBron.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So we ended up. He ended up playing. We ended up playing before him, but he got to watch one of my games.
yeah. I remember that. I remember that. He
And
was excited about that.
yeah, yeah, and I ended up getting a nice dunk,
Yeah,
and that's when, you know what I mean, in the papers. That's when the papers came and finding out that I was supposed to go up there to play
yeah.
with him and stuff. So,
Right. Yeah. You had conversations about going up there, and I know a whole bunch of schools, high schools at the time wanted you locally and otherwise.
yeah.
And I remember you stayed home though. You stayed home. What made you want to stay home and not take any of these other opportunities to go to other high schools?
There's a couple of things. One, it was like out of the blue,
Yeah.
like just all of a
Didn't
sudden.
didn't see it coming.
Yeah, didn't see that coming. Like I had a great weekend that weekend that, you know, he was up there to see us, and not to see us, but we
To
played
play.
before him,
Yeah.
so that he got to see us. But it was a great weekend, and I mean, I think it was just us. I mean, us was like we had like when he got to see it, it was just like, you know what
It
I
just
mean?
made sense.
Yeah, it just made sense. But I think I don't know how it ended up getting down here,
Yeah.
but he ended up watching us, and you know what I mean. And I don't know like for sure how it.
What the conversations were behind the scenes type
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
yeah. So but it ended up being he wanted his coach.
Wanted you to come up there and
Yeah,
play
wanted
with
us
St.
to come
Mary's.
up there to play at St.
St.
Mary's.
Vincent St. Mary's, yeah.
Yep. So
But yeah, you stayed home despite that, man. And
well, the whole reason was it was just all of a sudden,
right.
and it was just like it was like back in our time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like really known to really go somewhere.
Go shift to another school.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't as common as it is now. Yeah.
I mean, at all. So
because you have high school players who jump to different teams every year.
yeah, and they'll play for like 4 schools.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it definitely was less common back then.
yeah, and two, people got to understand this. I didn't. LeBron wasn't like LeBron.
Who he
Like
is
to
today.
me, me,
Yeah,
likewise, like
He wasn't who he is today, for sure. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But to me, wise, I'm like it wasn't a like a must that I had to. I was like, well, I mean,
That's cool.
you know, he's cool, he's good, but
Yeah.
like I don't really need to go up there. I had to move.
You wanted to make your own legacy.
Yeah, I had to move. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff too. And and being young, you don't really know, you know, what to really do
Yeah.
about that. And then they really want to answer. You know what I'm saying? Like they really need to know if you
Yeah,
want
right
to.
away. Yeah.
So it just ended up not being a no-go. You know what I'm saying? I ended up just not doing it, and you know what I mean? I just figured, you know, staying home, you know, I'd be, you know,
You created your own legacy by doing
you
so.
know,
So
I'd try to do something at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing to try, but just.
well, you ain't try. You did, bro. Because that going into that senior year, that's when it was different, right? Because every night you go into a home. I mean, anywhere we went, but home games especially,
Home
it
games
was sold out. It was crowded, and we had at our school we had 2 sets of bleachers, right? We had the bleachers that they just put out for like basketball. Then they had a whole nother set of bleachers they let out during wrestling. Because the wrestling team, like I said, that's what we were known for. It was huge.
Yeah.
And usually basketball games didn't get those second set of bleachers let out. But senior year,
Yeah.
they had to open them all up to everybody.
Right.
And it was packed, and people came from all around just to see you play. What was that senior year like?
Man, you was there.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. Like you said, some of those games, our gym would open up the top bleachers, and
Yeah.
we would actually get to pack it out. And it was normally against Uniontown. Shout out Uniontown.
Yeah.
And Laura Highlands. Shout out Laura Highlands.
Yeah.
It was normally against them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And those teams were always good too, traditionally.
yeah,
But they ain't get no dubs that senior year, not against us.
I think they
Yeah, I don't think they got no dubs.
they
against us.
yeah, I think they might senior year. I think
Who got a dub?
up there. I think we lost up there.
Mm.
But Uniontown always kicked our butts though, man. Like,
Yeah, for years.
yeah, man, Uniontown was
years.
so good, man. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, personally, like, they was winning, especially when I first got on the scene
Yeah,
at high school.
like freshman year. Yeah.
Oh man, they was
Yeah, it wasn't
states,
Yeah.
states, and
Yeah.
so I mean, they always busted my butt like Uniontown did. But like you said, my
Senior year got
senior
different.
year,
Yeah.
we started to get a couple dubs with them.
And I think I think senior year, and I spoke about earlier about you didn't play with players who were exceptional basketball players, but I think senior year you had like a pretty good stock of role players around you. Like you had guys who I think the whole starting five could dunk, probably minus Pate. The whole starting five was dunking, and you had some younger kids who were athletes like Terrence McCray. Who went on? Shout out Terrence, who went
Yeah.
on to play with the Steelers, played at Ohio football. This
football.
is
Yep.
So you had some athletes with you.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel different for that reason because you had some athletes with you? And you had some ballers. That
Yeah.
senior year.
Yeah. Like I said, all you need is a little help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't have to be good. You know what I'm saying? At everything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
They just had to do what they did
yeah,
well.
yeah. Like, you just
Yeah.
got, if you a big man, be a big man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, crash the boards and
Throw a pick.
yeah, some picks, man. Like,
Yeah.
but like, that's what you got to understand. Like, the kid, people,
Kids coming up.
yeah.
Play your role.
Yeah, just play your role. You know what I mean?
You told me one of the realest things I ever heard in basketball. You was like, the thing about basketball is there's so many different things to do. You can get assists, you can get rebounds, you can be a good defender, you can do this. He was like, so you don't have to do everything. Well, just do one. He was like, even if you have a night where I can't score, like shit, I'm just gonna play good ass defense.
Yep.
I'm gonna get some rebounds.
Yep.
Like there's always something you can
There's
do.
always something, and
Yeah.
that's the thing with it. Basketball is, I say, 85% mental.
Mm.
Like, you got to know
Yeah.
the game of basketball.
You see it with players like Draymond Green. He knows basketball.
Yeah,
Like he's not the biggest guy, and he's a forward. He plays forward. He
Mm-hmm.
plays center sometimes. He's not the biggest guy, but he knows what to do with his body. You hear him talk about basketball. You know Draymond know basketball.
hmm
He's not the most athletic dude, but
right.
he could do everything.
He knows it.
He knows basketball.
I think it's 85% of the time. 85% mental. Like, you have to know basketball. Like, you
Right.
have to know it. Like, and that's the one thing with kids got to understand. Like you don't have to be skilled. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the mental comes in. Like,
Right.
if you know where to go and how to be and where to be,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like,
It's crazy how much of a difference you can make.
I mean, yeah, like, it's so funny how, I can still play at my age, and freaking these kids are young, and like, me and my OG, shout out to Juan, we'll just do some simple pick down, and 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 it's like a little pick down, but we score on it
Every
anytime we
time,
want
yeah.
because it's like we know exactly
What to do?
what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, we need a bucket. We were like, all right, pick down real quick, pick down, and he just throws it to me every time. It's like if you know basketball,
Right.
it's like you don't have to play hard.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people too would tell me that, I wasn't too aggressive when I played. You know what I mean?
You didn't have to be.
Well, you know what I mean? I just think that, I was always thinking out there.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to go be super aggressive going to the hole rather than pull up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather just pull up.
You're going to take the best shot.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But people would say, if I was a little more aggressive and, you know what I mean, I would be like a more of a better of a player than what I was. You know what I mean? Not that I wasn't, but,
Yeah, no.
just-
I mean,
just
and that's probably coming from people who probably can't even play ball, you know what I mean?
No. I mean, I understand what they. What
You
they
understand
mean.
the intent behind it. Yeah.
But I always told them, like, that was just never my game. Like, to
Right.
be like super aggressive. Like,
Yeah,
you
you're a
know what I mean?
facilitator.
Like,
And that's what I said. That's one of the things I think you were a prototypical point guard. I think that's what defined, that's what made you such a great player, is because you facilitated, you made guys around you better. You did all the things that you needed to do to win games, and no matter what that was, if it was scoring that night, then that's what you're going to do.
Right.
If you know somebody's hot, you're passing the rock. You weren't a selfish player.
At all.
You could have scored 1 trillion points. Couldn't nobody do nothing about you.
At all.
But you were a very unselfish player. You played the game the way you were supposed to, and it translated.
Like, my uncles used to get on me, man. They used to be like, man, why do you pass the ball so much? You stop passing the ball. Stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I had 25. Like, they're like, nah, you still pass the ball too. I'm like, damn. So it's like, I know like what they meant.
Yeah, you understood what they were saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But that just wasn't how you was playing.
That was just not my game. Like,
so now senior year, right? We go into it. We're packing the house. We got people traveling. There was like students traveling.
oh yeah,
I think the tradition started. I'm not gonna say I think I know, because I never seen it prior to, but I seen it after, right?
Yeah.
We had like kids that used to do like specialized things. Like we had a group of kids who would like dress up weird or do different things. And now they do that at every game now that I've been to afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But not until your senior year did that stuff started happening. You had like shout out to all the people who was involved. But I remember the Kings specifically and Jerome. Them boys used to be going crazy and like organize a little group to support and travel with, right? And they really would show up. Now senior year's turn, we're winning games. What was the result of senior year? Because junior year we went 2 rounds, lost.
yeah.
What happened senior year?
Senior year, we made it to the championship.
Yeah, WPIAL championships.
The
Yeah.
WPIALs.
Yeah.
Yep. But
I think it was Chartiers Valley. Was it Chartiers Valley?
Chartiers, shout out Chartiers. We got through. That's when we got through Penn
Hills, yep.
Hills
Yep.
finally.
Yeah, and that was it was supposed to be a neutral site game, but it was towards Pittsburgh. It was closer towards there.
Yeah.
And Akita McLean was the senior that year.
Mhm.
We spoke about Akita earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we beat Penn Hills. That was a big game. Everybody was talking about that one.
Yeah. So that's what ended up happening. And then we got to the championship.
Yeah.
And that's probably history in Connellsville.
Yeah.
First time getting to the WPIAL championship.
Championships, yeah, in basketball at that.
Yep,
And
yep.
because, like I said, we were never known to be a basketball school, so that was something amazing. And they had it, where they played the WPIALs at it? What was it?
Duquesne, Plumbo.
Yeah. That was super dope.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a dope experience, and of course people came traveling to see that as well.
That was on
What was that
TV.
like for you? What did that feel like to take your hometown, to take your school to a WPIAL championship?
No.
Did you understand the magnitude of it? Did you know how big it was at that time?
I mean, yeah and no. I did and didn't because uh, I did because I knew it was on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything, cameras was there.
Yeah.
And I've never seen not never seen, but
At
never
that time, yeah.
Yeah, at that time I've never played in a big arena like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
packed.
Right.
So yeah, I knew.
It was a big deal.
I knew it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But we was cool. You know what I mean? I feel like I played good, and but I feel like if we would have had a couple little things happen for us,
Yeah.
we would have won that game.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you, I
It
don't
was
know
a
if you
competitive
remember,
game.
but we was up a lot of
Yeah.
those times. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We was up too, but they kept going back and forth.
Right. They
Towards
had shooters. Chartiers Valley always got shooters.
all five,
Yeah.
all five,
Yeah.
plus coming off the bench,
Yeah.
they were shooters.
Yeah.
So, and that was T.J. McConnell's dad
Yep.
that
Yep.
coached that
Yep.
too. So
Yeah, TJ McConnell ended up coming out of Chartiers Valley.
Chartiers Valley, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
They're always competitive every year.
He was like
They're always
actually,
in the conversation.
he was like he was just coming up as what I mean. He was just
Yeah.
a little younger. Than,
He was a young boy, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So
But,
senior
yeah.
year you go to the States. Or I'm sorry, WPIALs. We're at WPIALs right now. You go
Yeah,
to WPIALs.
WPIALs.
Lose to Chartiers Valley.
Lose the Chartiers, which it was a good game.
Yeah, it was competitive.
It was a good game, but we ended up losing. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I have that on tape, by the way,
Do you?
too. VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got that VHS.
The VHS tape.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get somebody to convert that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got to convert that.
Yep.
So after WPIALs, we still end up going to state playoffs.
Yep. And we end up catching Penn Hills.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea how. And it was like I think we was like the G unit of schools back in the day when it came to like Pittsburgh teams.
Yeah.
Like they didn't show us no love with them.
No, not at all.
Like the papers and everything. Like the first time we played Penn Hills, they were like in the paper like, yeah, you got Connellsville don't have a chance of winning these games.
Yeah. Yeah, always the underdog.
Yeah, we was like, geez. But we went on a run my senior year.
Yeah.
Ended up chipping them.
Yeah.
But when we ended up running into them, I don't know how we picked them the first game of the States. But
Yeah.
so we ended up running into them, and which was cool. A little cool story about that is, so we lose by 1 point, 55-54. I have the last shot at the end. Okay. I drive baseline. Pump fake Akita. He knows this. Pump fake Akita. He jumps, hits me. I throw it up. The ref don't call nothing. The buzzer goes off. We lose.
Yeah.
55-54.
It was just that close.
It was just that close. So, hold on. Penn Hills ends up winning states that year.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
Crazy. So
Crazy.
so think about that. We beat them.
The first time around in WPIALs.
Well, if we beat them,
Oh, if you beat them in states, yeah.
if we beat them in states,
You got a really good chance
we
at
ride that boat out there
Yeah.
to the states.
Yeah.
I mean, if they
Yeah.
win,
it. Why not y'all?
why not us?
Yeah.
If we knocked them off, and that'd have been twice.
Right.
But yeah, that's a little cool story about that.
Yeah.
And shout out to Akita and all the players at
Yeah, that Penn Hills team, man.
Penn Hills was stacked.
Yeah, Penn Hills definitely always had some ballers coming
Oh
through there.
yeah, the Knights, Warwick, bunch of them.
Shafino, of course.
Shafino's.
Yeah.
He was Shafino's a little.
Yeah, he was earlier than us.
But
yeah,
shit.
But they always had
Oh
ballers
yeah,
out there. Yeah.
you know about him. Shafino was that guy too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He did. It should end up playing at West Virginia.
West Virginia,
Being a baller. So yeah, so you we get through school, you play in school, then you go on to the next level. Now what was that like? Playing collegiate ball?
Well, I ended up going to Allegheny of Maryland.
Yeah, you had the JUCO down Allegheny where Steve Francis went at.
Where Steve Francis went.
Yeah.
Yep. 2-year school there. And
what was it like at that level? Because I've seen a couple of your games there too. I was there for that.
Oh yeah, you did
anytime,
pop up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know if it was me and Fesco or I think it was me and Fesco popped up on you.
It might have been Stan.
I think you're right. Yeah,
you and Stan was
me and
up
Stan
there.
popped up on you.
But
what was that like? Now the games that I went to, you were still doing the same thing that I seen you doing, and I seen you doing in high school. And in fact, the one game you got a nice dunk off, had like 25 points in it. Mm-hmm. This is on a collegiate level, playing with ballers. Like we said, Steve Francis went to the same school.
Yeah, Allegheny.
Could you feel the difference? Could you feel the difference in that level of play?
Oh yeah, for sure. One, we had point guards that was 6'8". Like I've never seen a guy bring the ball down that looked like a big man.
Right. Yeah.
And like normal. So that's
had fluid motion, everything.
I mean, like that was the first difference right there. I said, "Oh, this is." I said, and I knew for a fact. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not playing up here." I'm like, if he's the point guard, I'm not getting nowhere near a position if they're playing a big 6'8" point guard.
Right.
And he's bringing it down behind the back, going through the lane, you know. And then our big man was 6'11". So man. I mean the height.
They
looked collegiate.
Yeah.
Like that was the difference, right? That was the number one.
Height was the immediate difference.
I mean, right there.
Yeah.
And then like we said, levels. There's levels.
Speed.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, these guys are 6'8". I mean,
and they can move.
I mean, jumping was like, I mean, there was kids at the school that didn't play basketball who could jump, do a 360, put it through his legs, and like we had kids.
And he ain't even on the squad.
They even on the squad. We had kids that just went to school. I'm like, this is crazy out here, like crazy.
Yeah. So
I mean,
was it a good experience though?
Oh,
Did it help grow your game?
Yeah. And like you said, the speed too.
Yeah.
It's in college you can't take plays off.
Right.
Like in high school, I could take 1 or 2 defensive plays off or offensive. College,
they're taking advantage of it.
Yep. Yeah. Every time if you take a play off, somebody's scoring on you.
Yeah.
So that's another
difference.
Yeah.
That's a big difference, man. That's a big difference. Like you said, so now you got to condition better. Now you got to train yourself to really take your craft more serious. Because talent's not going to just get you there alone. Because everybody that you're playing with, they're talented too. Now it comes down to who's going to work.
Yeah.
Who's going to be that guy to try to take it to the next level of it.
Yeah. If anybody can get some records or some pictures of my Allegheny time, please send me, because I have no nothing like
really,
because it was all like in those papers,
yeah,
like those times out there, it would be in them. So and
you still keep up with any of those players you played with?
Actually, yeah, I know. I still do. I still talk to one of my big men, Tyron, Bill, my boy Terrell, Mosley.
That's what's up.
And a couple guys I talk to.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Freaking I still try to keep in touch with a bunch of people that I still talk to. My boy Tim Shalahida, my white boy. He was nice.
Good people.
Yeah.
I remember going to visit you. It was dope because you guys had like that crib. You had the
that's who. Yeah.
Where all the players were.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, was that different being on your own and being out?
Yeah, it was. But it was cool though. Um, that school, Allegheny of Maryland, is a basketball school.
Yeah,
So that's why it was cool. You know what I mean? It was cool, and it wasn't bad at all because everything evolved around the basketball team.
right.
So you know what I mean. So yeah, we had it pretty cool there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We was the big people on campus,
yeah, hell
basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it wasn't a big campus either,
Yeah,
but it was, you know what I mean. It was cool. They had a nice area where the dorms were, where people stayed,
mm-hmm.
and some of the guys that played stayed. So that place up there was nice. When you go up there, you can just pull in and walk around, and they had like swimming pools and
Oh yeah,
volleyball courts, for the area and stuff that people come out and stuff playing. So
and you can just go ahead and utilize it.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
So, but that was cool. It was cool. It was good. It was good up there.
Was that your first time being away from home for that long, like an extended period of time?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But Maryland isn't even. It's not
It wasn't
bad.
super far.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
it's three
yeah,
if you're just cruising.
right.
But it's like two, maybe two and a half.
Two and
But
some change.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But it's like three if you're just cruising. But yeah. But I stayed up there. Like you said, I had a house and stuff, so I stayed up there until the summertime. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then came home.
Came back home.
But yeah, it wasn't too far of too bad of a drive to go up back and forth up there.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad getting adjusted.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't too bad.
You
But
can
it was
still
it
you can
was
still
cool
come
being
home.
away from home.
Yeah,
It was definitely cool being away from home for a
probably had
while.
to do some growing up at the same time being away from home
Yeah, I
too.
did. I did definitely. Like you said, being on your own, you had to make sure you got
Being
groceries.
responsible.
Yep,
Yeah,
eating and
yeah,
money. You got money and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah, it was cool though. It was cool.
yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Basketball was the thing though.
That was the shit around
Yep,
there.
yep.
Yeah. Now from there, you went on and you still continued your career and still had a pretty good career. Did you guys won a championship over there, Cal?
At Cal.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, when I transferred.
yeah,
Yeah, so after Allegheny, Maryland, 2 years, uh, yeah, I transferred to Cal. Yeah, we ended up winning our uh, winning our champion section, and then we ended up getting up to the Elite Eight
yeah.
uh, in Boston. So yeah, 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 we ended up getting a little ring there.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Now I know that had to bring it full circle, and once again, you're one of the best on the level that you're playing at, and that had to further validate what you already knew about yourself.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, and
Yeah,
like I said, I usually don't get to talk, what I mean, about stuff and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
When
About
I
the
call my old colleagues,
yeah,
we'll bull crap and
yeah.
all that good stuff.
Talk
Um,
about the game. Yeah, man.
One of my good friends at Cal, Rob Ramsey, you know Rob,
Hmm.
Gobble legend. Uh, I try to talk to him all the time, so
Yeah,
we stay in touch every time we're able to
connect.
yep
Yeah.
and stuff. So he's actually gonna try to make it to my little dinner
Okay.
that's coming up
For the induction.
for the induction. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fire, man. So when you first heard about the induction, after we talk about the career you had and the stuff the accolades that you were able to accomplish along the way, now you get to sit back and reflect on it through the induction. Like you said, at that time, you didn't realize you were making history,
Mm-mm.
but as you look back on it, can you feel how special it is now, or does it still kind of seem just like a moment?
Yeah, I mean, I, it does. It feels cool. It
Yeah,
feels cool. But I know too. There's a lot of people that that could be in that thing too. You know
yeah,
what I mean? That we know that a lot of people know too. So yeah, to look at it on that side of the point, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool,
yeah. You get to
and
represent, man,
represents in its history.
in its history.
In its history,
Yeah.
so you can't erase it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what's cool with me about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like my kids are going to be able to like
Tell their kids.
check it. Yep, to check
Yeah.
it out, and you know what I mean. So with all that stuff, so that aspect of yeah, it's cool.
So I know now you do a lot of camps. You work with youth players.
Yep.
You do some different camps and trainings like that. Now, what would you say to what's like your biggest advice to young players coming up as you're seeing them come up and playing ball? What advice do you hand out to them whenever they're coming to camps and training with you?
Um,
Just you don't have to tell me all about all of them,
no,
but just like some of the key advice you can give to a player.
I mean, I just you just tell them to take it serious. Like stay in your lane. Number one, don't try and do stuff you're seeing on TV and stuff.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
if you can't, you ain't. If you're not a shooter, don't try to be a shooter.
Don't try to be Steph because you see
Don't.
Steph
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
You ain't got to shoot half court
That's
shots.
what I'm saying. But I try to tell kids, work hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hard workers,
People take that for granted.
yeah, it pays off. I listen. I ain't gonna lie, man. I can look back and say I could have worked harder.
Yeah.
Like for sure, for sure. Like you know what I mean? And thinking about it, I'm like, dang, like what if I would have worked a little harder?
Right.
What if I would have tried to? But now I can tell kids like, yo, it can pay off
Right.
if you do work a little harder. It can pay off. So that's what I tell them. You know what I mean?
Take it serious.
Yep.
Take yourself serious.
And I teach like fundamentals too. Like
Yeah.
I make sure you guys know the certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a lot of these guys that do that trains and stuff. They just train, but I make
You
sure.
want to get the basics.
Oh yeah, yeah. They know like I'm gonna make sure you're gonna understand what you're doing and stuff
Right.
like that. I break it down all the time, but yeah, I do a lot of training and camps and stuff. Shout out to my coach Bosnick. He has a camp coming up too, so
That's what's up. Do you work with them on some of those camps?
yeah, I'm the one that kind of runs a lot of
That's what's up.
the stuff with him. So it's me and him. Then we try to get like some guys to help us out, like a couple older guys that coach some of the
That know the game.
yeah, the coach some of the kids. I remember I tried to tell you to come out to check Mason out a couple times in the summer,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we try to do that a little bit, but yeah, that's Bosnick's
Camp.
yep, that I help running with him. So
That's awesome, man. And that just goes to show, like we were talking about earlier, the impact that he was able to have in the relationship, how it still stands today. And he's still helping you to extend your reach and make an impact with other players. So that's a lovely thing when you see it all come full circle, bro.
right, right.
So yeah, man, I appreciate you. Oh, before we get out of here, it's playoff time, man. Who do you like? Who do you like going for? Who you got in the championship right now?
Oh, jeez.
Put you on the spot.
Uh, I mean that in the West.
You gotta like Ant and them boys.
Yeah.
I feel like Ant's playing out of his mind, man. The
Yeah,
Timberwolves right now are so tough. Julius Randle's playing good ball.
I like Timberwolves in the West.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope the Knicks make it to the
To the finals?
yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Me too.
I'd love to see that. Because that'd be something different. Jalen Brunson's such an underrated player, man.
Yeah, different Jalen. Yeah,
He's
it's
such an
just,
underrated player,
and I
bro.
think the Knicks deserve it
Yeah.
a little bit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
as a
Like
franchise.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they got all them.
In our lifetime, I ain't never seen him win nothing.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
they always had a nice little decent. You know what I
Squad,
mean?
yeah. They always had some players.
And it's like the mecca, so it's
Yeah.
like they always had it. They got the place for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Bring one home for the Knicks.
yeah, yeah.
That'd be
So,
different.
but yeah, Indiana might spoil that.
Man.
But that'd be cool too to see them in the
Yeah, because I don't think they ever won a championship.
No,
Indiana
I don't,
never got one.
yeah, I don't think because remember Reggie was
Reggie
like
was
the
the closest. Yeah,
Yep, and he ended up catching Jordan.
yeah, yeah. That was a tough one to run into. But yeah, man, no, I appreciate you coming out to join me. Talk about your career. Like you said, I know you don't get a chance to do this a lot
Yeah,
and talk
yeah.
about it and reflect on it. It was fun for me and nostalgic, man, because those were some good times. Like that was some of my best memories was going to watch you play the games because everybody was there.
Oh man, you already know. Like
It was such an event, you know. I mean, even traveling, that was the first time that we really traveled for.
I said, it was a movie, bro. Like
Yeah,
it used to be movies. I used to be warming up and like the crowd be coming down and I just so happened to turn around, you right there, right in front. Every game, like just right there, just like
yeah,
pop
yeah.
up, like oh okay, yeah yeah. So I mean that's cool. It was always
Oh, it was a
cool.
good time, man. We had a lot of fun in school, man. And like I said, it was such a beautiful thing to watch up close and personal, and now it has become a part of history that's carved in to our area and in the Whip Hills in general, right? So like, it's just such a beautiful thing to see, bro. And I appreciate you sharing the story with me and the Marley State of Mind audience. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all check out those Bosniak camps with Munch, man. Make sure y'all get with them boys, get your kids right, get them fundamentals, man.
For sure.
And you know I'm here.
We could talk all day and all night
No,
about
for
stuff.
sure. There's so many memories and so much that goes into it. And there's so much that goes in the ball, right? And it's been an excellent opportunity and vehicle for you to help you travel, to help you see different things. You got to experience college life and all of those things,
Yep,
and
yep.
that was because of ball. So, yeah, man. But we're here every Saturday on the World's Dopest Podcast. We also have Vision Talks on Fridays at 2. Tune into Stash Spot with Jesse and them boys. They'll be reviewing that bud. They got that good smoke. So make sure y'all check all that out. And I'll be here next week with another special guest on the World's Dopest Podcast, the Marley State of Mind Podcast down here at the Bunch of Bull Studio. Until then, we out of here.